Hi everyone, my name is Ekta with student ID PPE 8007 from group number 074. I'm covering the introduction part of our group assignment, which is all about financial markets. Financial markets basically a place where financial securities like shares, debentures, bonds, and so many other like commercial papers, so many securities are exchanged. People buy and sell these securities in financial markets. Financial markets is known as stock exchange. Each and every country has its own stock exchange. Australia also has stock exchange, which is known as Australian Stock Exchange. In stock exchanges, investors and those businessmen who need funds come together, and they use these funds to running business and for so many other activities. Now I'm covering part 1 of our assignment, which is all about research and fact findings of Australian financial market. Australian financial market is basically divided into four main parts: commercial banks, insurance companies, investment banks, and investment funds. Commercial banks are those banks that play main banking activity like lending and accepting deposits. If we talk about the highest capital recorded in case of commercial banks, it is 33.72 billion by NAB, and the National Australian Bank, and Javed Iqbal is the chairperson of that bank. Now I'm talking about insurance companies that plays key role in providing certainty and protection and sharing risk against the charge. If I'm talking about the highest capital recorded, it is 10.28 million, and Lebowitz is the chairman of that company. Now I'm talking about investment banks. Investment banks are those banks that provide financial assistance like underwriting shares, managing wealth for other companies, and providing these facilities. Now I'm talking about the code in Australian Stock Exchange for investment banks. It is MOE. Investment funds. Investment funds are those funds that shareholders holds in Australian financial market. Like we can say that mutual funds are the investment funds. Now I'm talking about the analysis tools which we use to analyze all these four parts of financial market. That is working capital, capital structure, and capital budgeting. These tools are used to judge the performance by these four different parts of financial markets. Thank you. Now may another friend continue the part 2 of our assignment.
My name is Wang Junglei, student ID SET3084. Now I continue the presentation with part 2. Part 2 will be the fact finding of Australian financial market regulation. The positive changes for being a listed company on AIS, including growth, enhanced company profile, efficiency, employees alignment, institutional investment, and currency. Now I move to triple that are being needed to be measured for being listed on AIS. To stand by the minimum listing requirement, all the rule and regulation need to be followed. In the beginning, some money is needed to be invested to list the company on AIS. The company may face trouble in getting that. Now I move to the demands that are being met for the listing on ASX. The company must have at least 300 non-affiliated investors as a shareholder with 2,000 Australian dollars, free floating of 20%. The company should comply either to profit test or with access tests. Continue with some methods to get listed to ASX. First one, appointment must be done for the team of expertise advisor. The preparatory works must be finished, including marking, listing application and other important documents, and going through the process of due diligence. The marketing activity must be conducted onshore, and launching of the professional advice advertisement is strictly prohibited by ASIS. The application of listing are being processed by ASX. Offer are made to the retail investor, then the offer is to be closed finally. Now I continue the fees. We can see on the table the market capitalization or original fee and annual fee. The original listing fees are needed to be given at the time periods when the company will get listed. Therefore, the annual costs are needed to be reported and the values of the security are to be quoted. Now, my friend will continue with presentation. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sakbir Kaur. My student ID EMV 24402. My topic on financial market of Australia. First of all, I will start from some findings. The first finding is the requirement on the financial advisory service registration in Australia. Mandatory advisor registered of ASIC. Money Smart website publishes the financial advisor registered, and this is managed by ASIC. It containing the records which are to be available by the people on the mandatory advisors from whom the consumers takes their own advice for mandatory products which are complex in nature. By the help of this document, the consumers can check that if a mandatory advisor has the authority to provide mandatory advice or not, and also to be find out that information on an advisor. The register also enhances the ability of ASIC to check the mandatory guidelines and also to assess their training, knowledge and job security. The second one is eligible criteria to be on the registered and the eligibility to be upgraded on the registered ASIC. The register of the mandatory advice contains the lists of all those of the authorized advisors. A mandatory advisor is authorized to provide personal advice for some mandatory products and they hold a license of Australian Financial Services AFS or have been authorized by the license holders as agent workers or managers of a related body corporate. The advisor who does not qualifies for the criteria of mandatory advisor, they are not included in the register. The register is time to time updated by the EFS licenses, and if they are failed to do so, penalties are applied to them. The second facts. The third one is information that is being provided on the register is of the following. First one is person's name of the mandatory advisors, job story and mandatory advisors, experience and guidance of the mandatory advisors, and the last one is the mandatory products on which the mandatory advisors are certified to give advice. Fourth one is mandatory products which are relevant for a mandatory advisor. All mandatory products that can be considered to be relevant mandatory products. First one is products of general insurance, fundamental banking products, insurance of consumer credit, mixture of all of the above products. The last one.
Hi everybody, my name is Amrinder Singh Madahar and my student ID is EMB 30136 and our group number is 074. Firstly, I would like to speak about risk analysis and project evaluation. Firstly, comparisons of NPVs to identify the most sensitive value drivers. Analysis NPVs is changing y 52.75% when there is 10% increase in the sale units and the unit price along with 10% increases in the variable cost and fixed cost. So NPV is highly sensitive and the management must consider that. Valuable drivers unit sales and price around minus 10%, variable cost and fixed cost around plus 10%, and percent changes around 52.75. In the conclusions, investment banks, insurance companies, investment funds and commercial banks are the constituents of the financial market of Australia. Each of such types of organizations has been researched and the details about those have been found out. Capital vestings, capital structures and working capital managements are an important part of financial analysis that has been tried to be understood with reference to the real case of a company. The requirements of a company to be listed on ASX and the requirements for the registrations of financial advisory service has also been done. In the end, risk analysis has been done on a project where the sensitivities, of the NPV on a product has been checked. Thank you.